So you're part of the Misfits.
Yep.
A lively group of fellows.
Segue.
And here's the thing about the Misfits: you guys like to throw parties. How are you guys surviving in a quarantine world without your Misfits parties?
I mean, parties were never really like the main, I guess, calling thing of Misfits. We'd maybe thrown like two or three big parties at events. But the calling card was really just the ability to travel and go on trips and film that. And, not traveling the entirety of 2020, having there be zero events, couldn't do live shows, couldn't do anything with, like the podcast was stunted. We couldn't fucking film it in person. We had to do it over Discord, which wasn't ideal.
You guys are recently back in it, though. You guys are back in person, right?
We are back in person. We actually have a new set that was built. I'm actually recording it today. So I have another podcast after this podcast, the Misfits podcast.
You'll be all fucking warmed up then.
Yeah, we're fucking dead. We'll see, but it's a new set and it's fucking really good. And we're going to be changing the format, changing the structure, because before, like, the podcast is really just a fucking stream of consciousness. We sit down, we just kind of bullshit. What do we do today? Blah, blah, blah. What do we do this week? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, what do you think? What do you think? Oh, new topic. And then it just bounces from unrelated topic to unrelated topic. And it's just a stream of consciousness and bits. And over quarantine on Discord, that worked, right? Like that kind of gets it by because you don't have shit to talk about when, because I went through the fucking Melbourne lockdown. And I feel like a lot of people in the world don't understand just how tough the restrictions in Australia really became throughout the middle of like our second wave. Because we had like 700 fucking people a day getting testing positive for COVID. So they were like, all right, guys, we're going to lock it down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We're going to lock it down. And we was like, okay. 3 weeks pass ago. We're going to extend it for another 2 weeks. And we're like, okay. Then by the end of that, they go another 2 weeks. It's like, okay. And then another 2 weeks. Like, okay. And then, it's just another month. And then it was 135 days, if I recall correctly, of it was like no more than like 2 people in your home. You could only.
How do they enforce that?
They have fucking. They would. There was an incentive for people like neighbors to if they saw more than a couple of people go into a house, they fucking call the cops. And
they encouraged neighbors to rat.
There was actually a thing. I'm not sure what the incentive was, but I think it was just like for the sake of our community, if you want this lockdown to end soon, you better rat out all the fucking people that are breaking the restrictions. And I think that was the idea.
That's like some dystopian shit.
Yeah. Well, dude, when this merch released and after all that shit was said and done, I wanted to throw a little bit of a party at my house. So, like, I invited like 4 people, like four or 5 people over my house, fucking 4 or 5, and they've all been quarantining. Like, they haven't fucking left their house. I know for sure, like, they didn't have COVID, they weren't sick, nothing. And like they get into the car, they come outside, they pile out of this car, and my neighbor across the street is looking at them, and Fitz gets out. He's not wearing his mask, and the guy looks at him, and he fucking mean mugs him. He fucking stares like right through him, and Fitz is like, oh shit. He puts on his mask and he like does a little thumbs up, and the guy is just still staring and looking at Fitz, and like they all get into my house. And they tell me, oh yeah, you're like your neighbor across the street, this fucking old guy who fucking stared us down.
Yeah.
And they'd brought a bunch of weed. We didn't have any drinks. But like they were like, should we smoke now? And I was like, well, how about we wait like 30 to 45 minutes in case cops show up?
Yeah.
Because that could be a problem if we're all fucking baked and we have to talk to police about why everybody's here. And so what ends up happening is everybody's there. We're waiting. I order a slab of beer. So like I order like 30 beers. on Tipple, which is like an Uber Eats for alcohol.
Right.
Sure.
And what ends up happening is like everyone's downstairs, and I think it was my friend Peckett. He says, "Oh, like should we smoke now?" I go, "Well, hang on." I had a funny feeling, and I go, "Hang on." I go upstairs to my office, and I open up like the blinds, and I look out, and I'm just looking at the street. Like maybe 10 seconds go by, and a fucking cop car without the lights on, without anything, is just rolling down the street. And I was like, okay, fuck. So I go downstairs, I go to everybody. I'm like, guys, the cops are outside. Maybe everybody goes upstairs. And they were like, okay. And they ran upstairs and all that shit. And I went through the house. I took all the shoes from the front door and I put them in a closet. I took everyone's bag. I put them in a closet. So it made it look like I was literally the only person home.
I just own a lot of cars that have different registrations, officer. I found them.
They all came in an Uber. They all came in one Uber.
Oh,
yeah,
cheeky.
So like I go back upstairs. Like I'm looking out. I don't see the cop car. I don't see like anything, and I'm upstairs waiting for like 10 minutes, and then a car pulls up out front of my house, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I get a little notification on my phone. It's the 30 fucking beers that I ordered being delivered to my house. And I'm freaking the fuck out because all that has to happen is for the cop to roll down the street again and see this fucking Indian guy holding 3 cases of beer and waiting outside my house for me to get fucked. And
Yes, officer, I am an alcoholic.
Yeah. So I go downstairs, grab the beer. I'm upstairs waiting. And I told everyone to like just wait upstairs. And like,
they're all huddled in a corner.
well, that's the thing.
Cold,
like,
afraid.
I'm fucking like, you know, I get the beer, I put it down. I'm like, okay, another 10 minutes you left. It's been 30 minutes. Like people are just upstairs. And I thought they were all like in my master bedroom, just sitting on the bed or whatever.
Yeah.
But I go upstairs. All the lights are off. I open up all the doors. I can't find anybody. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it's partially on me because I told them, like, I'll let you know when the coast is clear and when to come out. And I didn't do that because I was freaked out. So, like, I'm like, where is everybody? And I was expecting to just open the door and see them and be like, hey, guys, coast is clear. Yeah, but I'm like, whatever. So I go into my master. I go into my ensuite. Nobody's in there. And I open up the bathroom to my ensuite. And there's fucking 2 people in there, and they were fucking. They looked so scared because all they heard was me running up the stairs and then opening up all the doors. So they thought cops were in there clearing everything.
They must have felt like they were.
I scared the fuck out of everyone. And then after that, I think we had asked Ryan to give us work orders so that even if cops did come, we could be like, oh, we're just doing like an after launch photo shoot for merch. So we just forged some papers just in case. But
wow,
it worked out.
Holy shit.
It worked out. But it was tough, man.